Etherith, Chant 2. An obscure and anguished restrain, where I stumbled upon two most saddened angels. It seems the very glare and brilliance of the horrors of the past is a door that needs to be opened again, and it seems the spirits of the remote realms of infinite have reached the here and now. At least as symmetry as her eyes, there is something here. Malign that sunk deeper, and now something benign resolved this dead end. Bleak thee that suffers pain in the advent, as it being the mere lack of power of your own will, forgiven those that had wretched that omen to the hope of the afterlife, who had still tears to drown there, and those that are in pain now and never be revealed, have but a heaven, like a plain of dried dust to fall in, perpetually seated into the emptiness of the landscape. The unfortunate are truly those of the 35th province of hell, the helpless and the meek, who were given as their passage to eternity but fear, no courage, no friendship. It is the destitution here, the anonymous, an endless trail of tears hanging from one's heart, like that jewelry of sadness robbing the deadened beats of life. As much as the sun is tied to its heat, in which it can sense you in its fiery brain thinking of you. As much as bronze angel sculptures could be known feeling through the heat they receive from the sunlight, likewise it communicates if you touch a shoulder with your hand, and the heat is replenished in the bronze, and these sculptures are actually alive. As such is the distance of that light thing called a soul. Any mirror has never forgotten a smile or a lie, and as such that will be proven. With machines of this illustrious one here we tell, pulsating in anger her lasers upon the silver behind her mirrors to get every smile back out of a mirror and frame it in her lavish palaces. She will get back every smile and awkward look when they gazed upon their own lack of self-esteem. When they peered into the mirror, looking for themselves, sometimes they found nothing, or something very wretched. Could that conscious that assesses stars be somehow found in a face, then? Could you be aware and find yourself truly upon nature's brutal sin? I had sworn to cherish, uplift, carry myself the trodden, the victims, the miserable and the feeble-hearted, those with golden hearts that had for a moment not assumed a stillness as a part of the magic of life, where it had been taken away from them, as much as that oath would already be within my heart. But I do not need to uplift you or carry you if I have proven the magic of life, and that will be so much burden lifted to me. Cherish you I will always do. And would not then be a magic spell, be the hope and beauty where it was lacking in science? As much as a dead rat or a trodden crow is never within one's mind, as such this world will perpetually be a thin seal, where it is fluid to us, at the other end of reality. It must always be solid glass. When we walk through it, we are but amazed. But perfection should always be presumed when you think of the other end and the very infinite. If you had broken down a sign, that was the empowerment for reality in its perfect whim and irony, that evolution would be inexistent without having the opportunity to give that back. And as such a sign of the gods exists, because where we had destroyed what didn't exist, so must something give back that what we lost, in our frailty, something loves us. It is ultimate treasure, that subtle or not so subtle power, as the grand feat and acknowledgement that you are alive, only in the realization you were never dead, or never will be dead to begin with, as you are never alive now, or will be, or have been alive. Think of a minute of other perceptions, and see you not drown in anonymity. That should be your soul, at one as they had proposed. And that in your presence the all-mind of the universe is reflected in its most unfathomed adventure, in its misery or dread or happiness alike. Even the carrion of the very essence of the third eye went through desolate and dark, dreadful and weary abysses to reach here. Even the carrion of that third eye would set up her own adventure, to seize the opportunity to learn from the wreckage of his embodiment, which would be that desolation of his soul in this adventure, Because if there were no anxiety, it surely wouldn't be an adventure. Would it not be a feat torn from the very parchment of infinity to now realise that one should never be so selfish to bid one's feelings in oneself and not perceive that when you feel a rock or a column of marble fall, the rock or the column of marble fall feels you? Whatever a stone that would not be cherished could not even then be truly dead, for you are near. And what you hadn't cherished was merely inconvenience laughing at you in the face, because it deemed in the irony and the strength of your nature that you faced to suffer such ardent feats was truly precious in its grand, ironic scream. There would have been those to contest the ludicrous claim that something to attain so much fire would not have willpower. But there you shall have it. It would have stared a Taurus in the heart before it would admitted it. But for those who are paying attention that 1 and 1 isn't simply 2 should have been noted for a while, and fleeting then to the starch of these relative mathematics of these pages. These first lines held dear in the distant, or at times closest present, of the most destitute of all that we have could dream. Maer Helesse, an angel holed up as holy as the white dove found on her window ledge, melancholic, ever grieving, wanting a world as Hase described, and Emahiaele, who wandered, wrecked in the temple of Lee, the very inner bastion, lost, she begged her to sit next to her, patting the seat of a chair, tranquilized with the Lee's poisons. Some deep love was to last and transcend these shallow times. Not romantic, something more guttural than that even. Cadavers of woman are left here? I should wish to feed them, laying on medieval boulders a dungeon floor, and feed them then not anything but deer loins, roasted and spiced, shot by virgins with golden arrows, in pristine forests. Where in this world would we find such a forest? How awkward my taste will be for rodents and easily judgmental beings. And I do judge them back with more intelligence, how vulnerable they are, and how they squeal when I have them hear me. We can no longer leach into the decay. There is no one to suppress us. They, still miserable as they are, tell us to stick to reality. It's time to destroy their reality, the reality we are to stick to. Would that not be so unholy? Blasphemy to that reality is not enough. We are not just here to insult it. This naturalist, moderate and stale and damp, moulded and awkward taste, as if we were eating moulded bread, entire loaves of it, without a moment to have a drink or a repose. We have no money to buy candles, so we rather sit in the dark. I hope I have been of service to you. Yes, for you it was written, and delivered by me for your recognition, since with all this laughter, sometimes it would seem as if we do not even exist. All society will shed its urine over and wash it with a cloth upon meadows and forget, for the arts, literature, philosophy, imagination, religion, spirituality, and history and vision alike. Those to bring to the forefront, now a weasel of a bookwork, at moments unsure, or ever not ardent, adamant, resolute, at most resolute. Where did you find a resolute book or thought lately to find your existence true? From these moulds and parchments, shards of paper and shards of vision. I have done all I could. Now I will certainly vanish. My ambiguous and dubious work, wretched from this ungrateful ending, is done as water to an ocean. All emptiness now over these years. May it vaporize once more, may it rain as 1,000 years on this world. May as pearls' finest rivers be swelling again, and indeed, flood if thee commanded. Alas, signs, Tristathea, Deborah 3.